Well, today I'm going to be talking about financial aid award letters. Every March, April, seniors from all across the country, high school seniors that is, receive financial aid awards from the various colleges to which they're admitted. And believe it or not, there's a lot of confusion about these award letters. There's nothing uniform about them, and it creates a lot of confusion. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What does a financial aid award letter look like? What should it include? And what are some of the cautions that you should have when reviewing these? I'm Tom Bodorf, founder of Get College Funding here in Dana Point, California, and I'm glad you joined us. Well, our mission is, again, to clarify what you need to understand before accepting a financial aid award. I want to back up just a bit and define what is financial aid. And believe it or not, there's a little bit of confusion about this. Well, first of all, there's two different kinds of aid out there. There's need-based financial aid and there's merit-based financial aid. A lot of parents erroneously think of financial aid as being limited exclusively to the free money. Now, granted, free money is the best kind of financial aid, but it's not the only kind of financial aid. There's actually three types. Grants and scholarships, that is the free money, and it is the best kind of financial aid. We actually refer to that as gift aid. But secondly, there is a work study. It's actually a job. The students work for it. It typically is in the range of about $1,000 to $3,000 per year, but it is considered financial aid. It's not a gift. The student has a job, they work for it. Lastly, loans, where the student and or the parents actually pay it back with some level of interest. This is also called self-help aid, as is the work study. And there's a couple different types of loans out there, and they're very different, subsidized versus unsubsidized. Parents ask me all the time, Tom, what do you mean? Loans are considered to be financial aid? Oh my goodness, are they ever? Last year, student loan debt in America exceeded credit card debt for the very first time in history. And it's now in excess of $1 trillion, that's with a T, trillion dollars. That's a one with a whole bunch of zeros after it, folks. That's a million times a million. Now, merit-based financial aid. These are scholarships. Some schools, I know like our Chapman University here in Orange County calls them talent awards. It can be based on any number of parameters, whether that be academics or athletics, music, dance, drama, you name it. All kinds of parameters that can lead to some really nice merit-based financial aid. It's often offered to a student to entice them from other colleges, in many cases private colleges. And you see these much more at private schools than in public colleges. Financial aid forms. If you're watching this recording, you probably have completed, I would hope, your financial aid forms as appropriate. The sole purpose of submitting financial aid forms is to calculate your family's EFC. And boy, this is where there's a lot of confusion. EFC stands for Expected Family Contribution. Well, EFC, what it is and what it is not. EFC, again, stands for Expected Family Contribution. And this is the calculation, the computation by which colleges and the government actually assess a student's legitimate financial need. However, this is only the starting point. This is only the starting point of determining what your, quote, need actually is. I would submit that it's inherently quite confusing just by its very name, expected family contribution. A lot of families assume that their out-of-pocket costs are indeed limited to their expected family contribution, but this is not the case. EFC is not a guarantee of what a family will pay for college. Now, there's a few exceptions. There's about 70, maybe 80 colleges in the country that have a policy to meet 100% of your need, which is the total function of your EFC. But those schools are very limited, and we're talking, remember, about 2,400, 2,500 four-year private colleges. 70 to 80 will limit your costs to EFC. The others will not. EFC is not used typically in assessing a student's eligible merit-based financial aid. Now, sometimes the two kind of meld together, the need-based and merit-based. But EFC is a computation, again, of our need. Now, there's a very simple calculation that's been used for years called the needs analysis formula. And simply stated, it's the total cost of attendance of a school, which includes direct and indirect costs, minus the EFC, expected family contribution, and that equals our financial need. So for example, if we have a $55,000 private school we're looking at, and if our EFC, our family contribution, is $25,000, we have a $30,000 need. Remember, there's about 70 to 80 colleges that will indeed meet that need dollar for dollar, and most of that need from those colleges will actually be in the way of grant money, okay, not a whole lot of loans. Now, what about a family, on the other hand, that has a cost of attendance school they're looking at for about $25,000, and their EFC is $70,000? There is no financial need there, at least according to the colleges and the government. No need-based financial aid. Well, simply stated, if EFC is less than the cost of attendance, then we qualify for at least some level of need-based financial aid. And if our EFC is higher than the cost of attendance, then the EFC really means nothing. It's just a number. It's a gauge. It just says that we are ineligible to get any kind of need-based aid. Okay, let's talk now about the award, the financial aid award, now that we've laid some groundwork. Well, what should an ideal financial aid award consist of? Well, we should always have the total cost of attendance. Now, these are direct costs and indirect costs. The EFC should be on the award letter. What is our family contribution? Now, it'll only be there, of course, if we did indeed submit the FAFSA form, the federal form, and for schools that require it, the CSS profile form as well. Well, your need is defined as the cost of attendance. Again, that's the total cost, direct plus indirect costs, minus your family contribution. A financial aid award should itemize every grant and every scholarship. And that, of course, as we said earlier, is the best kind of financial aid. If there's a work study, then that should be defined. And work studies, by the way, are only offered if your EFC is significantly less than the cost of attendance. And then, of course, any kind of itemized loans will be on the award letter as well. Now, what it should not include. Now, this is huge, and I can guarantee you, parents, that a lot of you who are receiving financial aid awards will see this on your award letter, your student's award letter, that is, and it is not financial aid, the Parent Plus loan. No school should include a plus loan as financial aid on a letter. The plus loan is the parent loan for undergraduate students. It's at 7.9% with a 4.2% origination fee. It's not subsidized, meaning as soon as the funds are dispersed to the school, that the interest begins accruing immediately. Why in the world would anyone consider this to be financial aid? But the government actually does. Okay, it's roughly an 8% loan, no subsidies in terms of interest. That, to me, my friends, is not financial aid. A word about loans. There's two types of loans out there, subsidized and unsubsidized. Now, for a subsidized loan, I do consider this, in a way, to be financial aid because the interest is paid for by the federal government as long as the student maintains at least a half-time enrollment in college. All right, so there's essentially some free money there, no interest, for as long as the student is enrolled in college. Now, an unsubsidized loan, though, the interest again begins accruing immediately upon the loan disbursement. You see unsubsidized Stafford loans for students, anywhere from $2,000 to $5,500 unsubsidized for freshmen, and you see plus loans that are always unsubsidized. I do not consider these to be financial aid in any way. A lot of families have ways to borrow money at a lower rate if they need to borrow money at all for college. The student Stafford loans can be either subbed or unsubsidized, but the Parent Plus loans are always unsubsidized. And again, the interest rates, Stafford loans for the student, 6.8%. What a lousy loan rate. Oh my goodness. And the Plus loans, 7.9%. I have just a quick example here before I close. Here's an award letter from Stanford, and this is a well-documented award letter. We show all of the anticipated expenses. Those are the direct and the indirect expenses. Under the family responsibility, that is the EFC, the family contribution. We see the parent contribution as being just under $11,000, and we even see the student contribution as being $2,000. So they're showing us what our EFC is, just shy of $13,000. Now, we're also seeing on here the financial aid resources. We see a scholarship from Stanford. We see a Pell Grant, free money from the federal government. In this particular case, we see the Cal Grant as well. It's all very well defined. This is a good financial aid award, and it's a good format too in terms of the letter. Well, that's everything I have for today. One of our specialties here at Get College Funding is indeed evaluating the awards that families receive every March, April. If you're in need of such analysis and needs a helping hand, please give me a call. There's my direct phone number, 949-485-2638, or you can always shoot me an email as well, tom@getcollegefunding.org. I hope this message finds you well, and I hope to hear from you if I can be of any help. Take care. God bless.